Now, the road to victory in the world of Formula One is a long one. Actually, it's a quite short, circular one. Anyway, Mark Webber's here. Mark Webber was born in Queanbeyan, New South Wales, where he was raised on a healthy dose of motorsport. He started with go-karts at age 14 and gradually progressed to the world of Formula One.
We're all young and we're all extremely hungry, so I just doing it for myself and also for Australia.
And after scoring a contract with Minardi, Webber made his F1 debut at the 2002 Australian Grand Prix.
Mark Webber finishes in 5th place. It's a dream for Australia.
Over his 12 years racing for Minardi, Jaguar, Williams and Red Bull, Webber took out 13 pole positions, 42 podium finishes, including 9 race wins. Of course, with the highs come the lows, especially in the dangerous world of motorsport.
Oh no! Mark Webber's gone right up there.
And with racing comes rivalry.
Mark is too slow, get him out of the way.
Vettel goes dancing round the outside.
Mark Webber's career has been played out in the public eye, and with the help of his new autobiography, Aussie Grit, fans can find out a little more about the racing legend.
Please welcome to the project, Mark Webber. Great to have you here. Now, we're one stop on your tour of Australia signing books. What's more gruelling, F1 racing or book tours?
Definitely the book tour, mate. Yeah. It's full on. It's also a big country, of course, I always knew that, but getting around, obviously we've done Perth, Brisbane, Sydney, down here obviously, yeah, so trying to hit all the states. Exactly. Yeah, the book signings have been pretty impressive. It's been a great turnout. I've been blown away really. So
have they been more dangerous? Because that literary crowd can be pretty feral.
Yeah, mate, some of the selfies get pretty personal, the old headbutts go on. So,
You know what can be dangerous? What you include and what you don't include. People can be offended. Did you check out with people what you could include?
Not too much. I think in the end it was just the honest and open, frank yarn about what I went through. You know, obviously from the mid-90s, obviously when I started racing to now, which is obviously sort of 25 years, if you like, of a youngster through to Formula One.
And you're obviously a very fit guy, Mark, but you're an absolute giant when it comes to Formula One races. In fact, I was reading that in your book that you refer to being in the cockpit as racing a marathon in shoes 2 sizes too small.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't the right size for racing in F1. I think that, most of the guys are 64 kilos, pretty short. Obviously, I'm nearly 6 foot, about 9 kilos probably overweight. So I had to stay on top of that when I was racing, but that's how it was. So
to me, you don't look like 9 kilos overweight, to be honest. Coming from a different perspective.
But the weight thing's a big deal. So I only learnt this recently, that there's a certain a minimum weight that the whole car and the driver has to be. And so you've got to become as light as you can, because then they can add more weight to the front of the car or something.
That's right, yeah, it just gives you more options where you can actually put that weight. So it's nice to be as light as possible, because then you can, as I say, you can manipulate the balance of the car. It's another setup tool which is super powerful for performance. But yeah, I couldn't be any leaner, mate. I was 74 kilos when I was racing, so it's pretty lean.
With the whole G-force business that goes on in the car, you have to be really fit, don't you, to deal with that?
Yeah, I think that it's hard for people when they watch it on TV. They just see the onboard camera and they see us obviously just not putting a huge amount of effort in what it what it looks like. Yeah. But in terms of when the G-force are very high, obviously there's a lot of pressure on the body. The heart rate is very high, so around probably in my case around 170. My max heart rate's 183. And then 170 when I'm driving the car. So it can get very high, mainly adrenaline, and also, holding your breath, a bit like a rugby league tackle or an AFL tackle. We do that often when we're in fast corners. So, it takes a lot of conditioning, and to hang on to the car for 2 hours, you need to be in decent shape.
You've had quite the journey. You've been through so much, but there are a couple of chapters in there about Sebastian Vettel. How's your relationship with him now?
Actually pretty good. I think that we went through a lot. Clearly, and most of it was all played out in the media as it was a pretty intense rivalry when we were fighting for the World Championships, and also in our own team. It was also pretty bizarre how we had to manage that inside our own group, if you like. We had Fernando Alonso and Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton also fighting against us two. So it was quite dynamic, and at times our relationship was obviously not in great shape. But now he's. We've only just crashing into each other at Turkey. But I think he's had a young child now. He's obviously a lot older. I mean, Seb, he had so much success at a young age. I mean, Formula One in Europe, it's reasonably big here, but in Europe, it's a religion, obviously. And he's trying to deal with that at a pretty young age. he was learning a lot about himself as well, I think.
Did you give him the heads up? I mean, you're pretty honest about
Yep.
what you've written about
Yeah,
him.
no,
Did you give him
he's aware.
Yeah.
So
Has he
I'm
read
trying
it?
sign copy, mate. So we'll
He
try and-
hasn't read it yet?
Not yet. It might be a short read for him. But, see how it goes.
Just before we go, we saw some really cute pics in there of you when you were a youngster, but we got to say, you've picked a sport where you have to wear a lot of clothing, given that when you were younger, you never seemed to have clothes on. All the pics we got of you, you're getting around in the
There
nutty.
we go, mate. Yeah, well, I don't know. Mum never dressed me. I don't know what was going on, but yeah.
There's one where I think she's fixing you with no
There we
pants.
go. Still pulling chicks at school, but eh?
You pull more chicks of that, mate. That's all. That's yours. Get that.
Well,
Get
the
that
book is
involved.
called Aussie Grit. It is out now. Would you please put your hands together for Mark Webber?
Thank you.